So should be streaming. Let's see. Yep. Okay, let's just quickly change the title. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I did some thinking about how I could like best go about this, and I kind of settled on a few things. The first of which, the player will manage their own health bar. Will be a health bar. And you will be initialized to null. If inventory if health bar dot health manager equals, and you'll have an export var health manager equals null. Then I want to change it to be health component. No, because it is a health manager. Health manager. Let me just quickly change one thing so I can actually like see this more clearly. Maybe something like that. Let's see if that works. Anyways. So with that, if we save it, we can go into the player, give it a link, give it that, and then if we click on the player health bar, that's still the player. So if we go to the player health bar, can we just, yeah, copy, clear, and paste. Left click. Okay, there we go. And now we go to your script, and you're no longer that, you're just normal health manager now. Also, clearly what I tried has not worked. That is quite disappointing. I will say. That is quite disappointing. Let's just see. Hmm. I suppose the best I can do would probably be just this. Does that change it back or so? Let's see. I do not know. So, okay. Well, let's just. Okay, yeah, it is empty. Okay. Let's continue with this. So now that that has been set, the health bar should. Oh, wait. Well, yeah. That still fully works. And now that we have that done, what I should be able to do is I'm probably going to have every attack be its own scene. Like every attack and projectile will be its own scene with its own hitbox and sprite. Because I don't know if I can easily like have that be customizable. Can I? I might be able to have it be customizable, but honestly, I don't know. Because I think it would be easiest just to have every attack be its own scene. Though I guess it does also result in a bit of annoyance with the collision layers. So, we will worry about that later. So, will just be a sprite 2D to which is attached a collision shape 2D. And then we'll just do, oh wait, actually it needs to be an area 2D. That's my bad. Area 2D. Hitbox. Right. No, actually, I'm gonna change your type to be just a node 2D of basic swing with a sprite as a child. And for now, let's have that be, well, do I want, yeah, let's just have that be a beautiful placeholder texture. 16y pixels, 4x pixels. Beautiful. And then let's have a collision shape 2D. It's just hitbox collider, new rectangle shape 2D. There. I believe you're actually handled inside here. Collision, disable mode. Okay, well, did we have any like collision layer stuff in here? I don't remember entirely if there was anything for those. Not like anything in specific about like you could name certain things, certain layers. Yeah, you can name layers. UI and layer 1 will be entity. So yep, it's now called entity UI. It won't be on any layer, and it, well, it should be on layer 1, I suppose. Well, let's say that's entity, 2 is UI. And maybe, because like, we need colliders for UI because of like the cursor, because of how I handle the inventory, which I should have probably used like in the inventory I should have probably used like texture button. Uh, but I mean, it works, you know? So it's fine. I suppose I really didn't need an entire collision layer for just UI. But okay. Well, let's just keep it at this for now. And I don't think it should be detectable. Because mask is what it scans, yeah. Well, depends on how I want to handle things, but I think I do want just a general attack script that handles it. So I will have an attack.gd probably. That would just go into entities maybe. Then we do class name attack. You really don't need to, well, yeah, you really don't need to extend anything. Okay, we'll just do func hit, or well, collide. You will take in, because you want to connect to you. So it should be a body node 2D. Body node 2D. Scenes, entities, enemies. New folder, attacks, save. And then we'll just pass for now. That is not. Let me guess, that's Python. And we return void. So we can do that. Do I need to actually resave it first? Probably. Connect, pick, yep, there it is. So collide. And we would want you to have like expert var damage, which will be an int. And maybe we do have you extend node to these so I can ready you. Void pass. Though you only need to extend node. You really don't need specifically node 2D. And then we just have var parent equals node 2D. Parent equals get parent. Or well, you can just have be an onReady equals get parent. That should work. And then can we just get type dot get like type? A type of parent is not type of body. and body dot has yeah, because like it would probably be best to have this be a node. Because otherwise it would be kind of hard to instance the right collision shape for like every attack. Let's see, no one in chat indeed. Difficult. These are being experienced. Because, like, it'd be best to have an attack handle attacking, right? Okay, so if type of parent equals enemy and type of let's just do if parent is enemy and body is player, body dot health player. Does that let it know it's a player? Health manager? Because that's kind of unsafe, right? Would we want to just emit a signal of like the player handle collision with an attack? I suppose that would be best. Huh? So you don't need anything of this. You don't even need to collide with anything. Disconnect. Because, okay, what we could do is have these all. Well, actually, what we can do is make attacks resources. And then with exports, we define them so that we can have just one generic attack. Like one generic projectile. And we rename the TSCN. Well, first we move it to entities and delete attacks. And then we rename you just projectile. Class name projectile. Can we just rename it here? Nope, but I can just rename it here, so projectile.gd extends resource. Okay, so you take damage, you take add export var sprite to D, sprite to D, export var collision shape collision shape to D. Oh, are you just vars in here? Is that how it is? Like, say we now. Well, cause like, if we have them be a resource, then more so what we're doing is just extracting. We're not like creating this specifically for. So I guess this would actually extend no to D, yeah. Okay. So we would want you to actually be a node to D, not a resource, and that way we can export these again. And then we can do like in ready sprite dot texture, was it, or was it actually? So then we do sprite dot texture equals sprite and hitbox slash hitbox collider equals collision shape. Oh, right. So you're just a texture dot shape equals collision shape 2D. It'd be. Yeah, okay, so now if I give you a projectile. Oh, why do you have one here? I'm gonna del that. Gonna delete that. There we go. So now an enemy, if we give you a projectile .tscn, we can give you a sprite, we can give you a collision shape. Not directly though, because the shape is shape 2D. So you just be a shape 2D. And boom, we can set that and that. That is not bad. What if I just have a bet? sprite dot texture equals sprite. Right. Value. Sprite equals value. Would this update if I change the sprite? I'm honestly curious. Let's specify texture 2D. Okay, and now placeholder texture 2D. Okay, so that does in fact not update it. Okay, got it. But that is already not a bad start, at least. Because this way we should be able to quite easily add in new projectiles. However, they would still be scenes. Because, of course. So is there a way to mend that? Well, we can have the projectile take in. Yeah, we can have the projectile take in those variables during creation, maybe. Or like, take in a projectile resource, kind of. Like we have the projectile scene. Do we also have a projectile resource? Maybe we just call that projectile component. So create new script projectile component, class name projectile component extends resource. Instead of having you handle these, you just handle more projectile component. We'll take in a projectile component. And it will generally be null. Func init. Equals projectile component. Self dot. And then we take projectile component equals, well, no, projectile component equals projectile component dot projectile component dot. And now we just add those as exports. And there is that. What's your one issue with it right now? Or is that not like an issue? Like, what is the yellow? Oh, that's an interesting thing you can do. No, you could do that. Yeah, of course it works. I just wanted to see if that get rid of the yellow. Why are you yellow? Well, let's just have the enemy projectile component or projectile component. Well, let's just have you be attack. And like we could have different attacks, but this is just generic, of course. Let's add a timer maybe. It's like it'll have a generic projectile component, and it itself will keep track of with a timer. Or I could create a hypothetically I could just create it in code. So I will probably do that. Let's see, because the projectile component should be applicable to players as well as enemies. And they themselves will handle how they deal with being hit. Oh, we have 3 errors. What? Oh, right. Add warning. Oh, wait, we can just do that in here, huh? Wasn't there a way to do that in here? Like, I thought there was some way to just ignore that. Yeah. Just ignore. There we go. Create instance error constructing a GD script instance. Method expected 1 arguments but called with 0. Does it give that error consistently? Yes. When do I... Oh well. Equals no. If projectile component. There we go. Now it shouldn't give an issue. There we go. But okay, so you of course just handle these. What else should you manage? Well, your own peers, but like, is it a different one for each? Let's see. So here we just want to be able to take in that, and we can do like new projectile attack. Wasn't that one way you could create it? Didn't it say that? It specifically mentioned in C#. I see. Dot new. attack, add child, projectile.new attack, and we'll just have you handle your own attack timer. Though I kind of want you to just be export var attack timer int. Let's call that attack cooldown. To actually be a double, a float it's called here, right? Attack timer. Can we just have it take in a timer? Like in here? Okay, it does actually need that, so let's go back to float. Well, I think it would maybe be nice to have it be a timer. Would it? Because, like, yeah, we would just make this separate for every enemy, probably. Would we have it separate for every enemy? Like, for every enemy, we completely write this? Because, like, some enemies are going to be very different. Like, some enemies would have multiple attacks and such. Or something I'd like. Hmm. Because Godot's specialty is, of course, components. So what if you could add a component and it just essentially adds it, maybe? Well, let's just do it this way for now. And let's have you be a timer. Could we just do that? Hmm. Why do I always get caught up on like the small details? I mean, it's probably because they will be a big factor later on, but really, I should just make it work, you know? So you would be on ready. New attack cooldown. Would be create, well, timer dot new lookup symbol. Let's see what we can do. Oh, don't select everything. It's like I remember there being something for in-engine timer. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Jesus Christ, why is that so bright? Okay, so there is this, but I would rather not do that. That feels wrong. Equals 0. 0.0, 0.0. Attack timer equals attack cooldown. And then if attack timer equals 0 or equals 0, else attack timer minus equals delta. And they shouldn't ever time out, which is not good, but okay, clearly that does not work right now. So let's just see print. Well, I can actually just check the scene tree out, huh? I really need to figure out how I can set my default thing back when like running it. Game embed mode. Use per project configuration. And let's have you not make it floating. So okay, if we go to enemy, we can see it does keep creating new instances. So projectile projectile.new attack. Projectile dot position equals vector2 0 0. Add child projectile. What if we do like 18 9? Because that should be recognizable. Wait, it's probably because I didn't give you any attack, huh? Attack and new projectile component. You're gonna get the placeholder texture 2D 16 by 4. Collision shape of a rectangle shape that is also 16 by 4. And you're gonna do 10 damage, we'll say. So now you should create. Whoops. On a base, invalid assignment of property or key. Are you saying you didn't have a sprite component? Is that what you're saying? Huh? Print get children. Let's see. No children. Um. Ah, right. Hmm. That's not how you instantiate this. So should I just go with okay, so I can hypothetically just drag it in like that and have it technically work. What would be the easiest way of doing it though? Apparently I didn't think this through enough. Because we're facing that problem. Maybe I should just look at how other people handle this again, because clearly I do not yet have a fully complete grasp of what is best practice and what isn't. Also, these streams are going to be a hell to edit and like work into a devlog. There are like several hours that I get to sift through for clips, but okay. I'll worry about that later. For now, the issue is the one at hand, and not the one that is for later me. So, how about instead of all this, I just do not yet worry about this. Instead, I just have you have a damage that's an int, and it will start off at 0. Then we just target dot health manager dot cur health. Well, let's just rename it to health actually. Minus equals damage. Then we go to health manager, and we just rename this to health. There, that feels more reasonable. And now we just completely get rid of everything projectile. So projectile, and projectile, don't enter. There. No more worrying about that for now. Right. Dot health. Um. Uh. Oh. That would explain it, yeah. Let's have you deal 5 damage. Okay. And I mean, technically, yeah. Now, another thing I wanted to do was go into here. Let's just do sight range, maybe? Nah. That's an attack radius. And we'll do add export var min follow distance as an int, and it will be 8. Actually, did I want to do that? Because I think what I wanted to actually do was collision shape to D. And we just give you a rectangle shape right at your feet. And let's copy that on the enemy. Oh, I need to set you to floating then, I think. Yeah, floating, floating. There we go. Because usually you'd have a collision shape that's probably a bit more like, let's have you be capsule shape. Do we just need to rotate you then? Like, separation ray shape? What is a separation ray? Oh, that is actually kind of interesting, huh? Well, here, rotate 90, scale this down a lot, and like that. And let's copy, paste. Paste as unique, actually. Yeah, there we go. Whoops, I did not rotate that 90 for you. Transform, 90. Okay. And yeah, you can see that this already feels like a bit more natural. Of course, yeah. Oh, let's just skip that way for now. But yeah, we can see the enemy does actually like kind of attack the player. it's not like perfect. I may want to just have that be like a circle shape, maybe. 0 rotation, and just kind of like have it be a tiny circle. And then we just make like 2 pixels, maybe? Like 1.5? Let's just go with 2. Copy, paste as unique, 0, and move you up by 1. I think that does kind of feel nice, actually. Like, it's a bit weird for them to be that close to me, but like, that's just a side effect of not having them get any acceleration. So that would probably be fixed by just actually having an acceleration. But you can see even in player, like, you just move, no acceleration is happening. Hmm. Hmm. Dot hotbar. So if it does not yet have a hotbar. Hmm. So yeah, just in that like edge case. Now, should I have it be like, should I have it be attack range? Should I have it be collision shape, maybe? Area to D? Hmm. Well, for now, it works. Probably just gonna have this be another short one. It's actually not too short, but you know, I'll probably have this be another short one and just see if I can work myself further into like kind of the Godot mindscape, whatever you want to call it. Just like a a further general idea of best practices. Because I am constantly just getting stuck on what the best way to implement like this kind of cross node communication and such would be. Because I at least know I'll have like an actual hitbox, which I may even make it the same collision shape even. Like what you collide with gets you hit, you know. Um, but yeah, I'll just see, honestly. I'll just see how other projects handle it, if I can find any that tackle this. And I'll just see how they do it um, there. But at least for now, I'd say this is like fine progress, you know? Like we can't really die, we can't really hit the enemy back, which you could classify as an issue, but I'd say it works. Also, I'll probably use I probably won't actually use these hitboxes. It it feels wrong to have them be able to get that close to you anyways. Maybe I'll have it like I'll just see. I feel it's fine for them to stack even. But yeah. Well, maybe I could have like a zero with or whatever. But okay. I'll just end it here again and see if I can find anything more on them or get any better ideas on how I can structure this. Because clearly I did not think far enough ahead. But yeah, thanks to whoever watches the VOD, I suppose, because 0 people. Yeah.